nobody talks about the amount of times as a fucking mom that you sit in the fucking car and just cry, bro. You just fucking cry. Even when you know your tears not gonna fix shit.
Hey guys, hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to talk about, there's a couple of videos that I've seen go viral where a lot of moms came on social media and they were breaking down and just crying and saying how hard it is to do this motherhood thing, especially if you're a single mom. And I just want to take a moment to give kudos to moms out there, because being a mom is one of the hardest jobs that you'll ever do. You give so much of yourself every single day. It's exhausting physically and mentally, but it's also wonderful. And if it's something you wanted and you got to do it, it is really awesome. You know, I'm so thankful to God every day for my son, because I always wanted to be a mom. Funny that even when I didn't have a kid, I would go places and people always assumed that I did have one, which was weird. They would ask me like, is that your kid? Because I would take care of kids like that. So I wanted to be a mom. But for the people that are deciding that they don't want to be parents or they don't want to have kids, that's okay. Because it's a life-changing decision that you have to make. And I felt like I kind of knew to a certain point that it was going to be a big deal when I thought about being a mom. And I saw my mom used to talk to me about it and how hard it was to be a mom. And I saw women around me, especially in Africa, that, you know, were taking care of kids. And I knew that it was hard. Now, did I realize how hard it is? I had to experience that, okay? Because, hey. Woo! So, the video was pretty much this mom that was in the car, and she was crying, breaking down, and saying how hard it is. She was a single mom. I think she had like maybe 3 or 4. And I want to say that if you have a good partner, like some of us, it's not as bad. Because when I feel like I just can't do it anymore, sometimes I'll tell my husband, hey, take your son. You guys go do something, you know? Or I just need a moment, a couple hours or whatever to do clean and do my videos and stuff like that. He's like, okay, we got it. So when you have a partner, it's not as bad. But at the end of the day, I still feel like it is hard because moms do so much. Like, it's the multiple thinking, you know? We are wearing different hats every single day. The things that are needed from you when you're a mom. You are literally running from appointments to your work meetings to, you know, you go to the park on the weekends. You're just running around, and it is mentally and physically tasking, okay? So it's something that you just keep doing and you keep doing, and in the end, you know, it's not like some reward that you get. The reward is that the kids grow up and they become someone and they're good people and all that. And you just watch them do that and live their own lives. You know what I mean? It's not like something where you're like, at the end, I'm going to get $1 million because I did such an amazing job being a parent or being a mom, you know? So that's, it's like you're just giving. You're giving unconditionally, you know? And so for me, I understand where these women were coming from. There's days that I just feel like I can't do it. It's hard. I can't do it anymore. I can't, you know, especially one of my regrets is having my son way later. I was like 33. And before I knew it, I was 38 dealing with perimenopause symptoms. And it's been rough some days. It's been rough that if I didn't have my partner, I don't know what the heck. I don't know. Because I'm just like, whoa. You know, I sometimes find myself crying in the shower because I'm like, holy cow, today was not good. Like some days I'm like, I have failed at this thing. And then some days I feel so great. I'm like, I got this. We got this. Everybody's fine. You're fine, you know? So it's up and down, you know? And I love that women are coming on social media or in general and talking about it, because when you don't talk about it and bottle all this stuff in, it could take a toll on you, where we have women that have done some horrible things, parents that have done some horrible things because they just couldn't deal. You know, they said there was way more women, you know, drinking, like out of control, where they'll be carrying sippy cups, wine in sippy cups, because the emotional toll that being a parent takes on you. You know, if you see somebody screaming in the car, it's because, you know, you say, hey, Tommy, or whatever, stop it in the back 1,000,000 times. And somebody's not listening. At some point you go like, stop. You know what I mean? I've had my moments like that with my son. I'm like, literally, what the heck? What was that? You know, a ball thrown at you on your head. And you're like, dude, Why did you hit me with the ball? You know what I mean? We have those moments, and it's okay to feel that. Your feelings are valid, and I totally get that. I understand it. So I don't judge moms that are saying that it's hard. Now, the one I have a problem with is if it was hurt the first time, you might have to reconsider the second one. That I have to be like, hey, girl, there's ways to protect yourself from getting pregnant. So if you're struggling the first time, you gotta look into that and be like, hey, you know, maybe I'm not doing it the second time around. Me and my husband have been like, we're good, I think, with our one. You know what I mean? Because life is manageable now. I'm starting to get my spark back that I lost for like 6 years. I love it. You know, I'm getting my energy. I'm getting that me back, and I feel good. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to deal with newborns and diapers and all that again. Do it over again. I'm have a schedule, a routine. You know what I mean? So for me, I'm like, at the end of the day, you have to decide, like, hey, you know, maybe you might not do this again because the first time was just rough. Like for me, I felt like I lost myself for the first couple of years. Physically, your body changes so much. You look at the mirror, you're like, who is that? You know what I mean? So I understand when women come on here crying and saying all this stuff. It's valid. You know, it's either you let it out and talk to people about it, go get counseling, or you're breaking down by yourself. Because you guys know, I'll talk about me. I'll talk about me all day and tell you guys some days I'm not good. I'm okay to say that, because when I release that, I'm not holding on to it and acting like everything's perfect and muffins are being baked to school and everybody's cooking, everybody's happy. No, some days are not like that. Some days I'm cursing. I'm like, I can't. What the heck? You know, sometimes I'm getting frustrated with my husband, like, what? This is okay. So at the end of the day, it's okay to allow moms to express how they feel. Now, I mean, going on social media, it might not fix it, because people are going to literally tell you don't have them, blah, blah. I understand that. But for me, I know that, you know, there's moments that are not great. And some moms just happen to be sharing it on social media. Yeah, I mean, you can decide not to have kids, you know, because you don't have to deal with that. But at the same time, I feel like the reward is there. And to watch your kids grow up and you see them thriving and happy and smiling and eating and all this stuff is so beautiful and wonderful. And you're like, wow, you know, your purpose, one of your purpose, at least for me, I know it's that. My mom, you know, on Mother's Day was texting me and she said, you're doing so great with your son. And, you know, like, just, I'm happy for you. And my heart melted and I broke down, because I'm like, yes, some days are so rough, but then the other days are so great. They're so great. So yeah, motherhood is not for the weak. You have to make that decision. But when people come on social media expressing that, or you hear a mom expressing how they feel, it's okay. It's valid for them to complain and say certain things. It's okay, because it's either that or you're gonna, you know, unalive yourself. And that's not, we don't want that. So yeah, if you've never been a mom, you wouldn't get it. You just wouldn't get it. It's some things that you have to do to just experience it yourself to be able to have a say in it, really. Because from the outside, I remember I knew certain things before I was a mom. Until I became a mom, I just sat back. I'm like, you know what? Let me just take that back. I'm just going to be over here. I'm quiet. I'm not speaking. You know what I mean? So, yes.